Hey, how y'all doing? What's going on? We are back here at the Messy Sweet Spot. I'm your host, Miss Gigi, and girl, we got a story to talk about. We got to talk about the church. We have to talk about the church because the church is failing these communities. When you have a church, the church is supposed to uplift the community. When I was growing up, it was a church on every corner of the neighborhoods. And look where the neighborhoods now. These men that are in leadership in the church, they are failing not only the church, but they are failing the Black community. And I can speak about this because one, I'm a church kid. I grew up in the church. And I grew up in the hood, half in the hood. When I got to a certain age, my parents did move me out the hood of the east side of Detroit, and I went into like a place where I wasn't able to go outside. It was more sheltered. They didn't have a lot of kids over there. You know what I'm saying? So I am very qualified to talk about the Black church and the Black community because, honey, I lived it. It's my life. So let's talk about it. This pastor, his name is Dwight Reed, and I'm sure you guys have heard of him before. This is not the first time him making the headwaves. And let me tell you, this is a 63-year-old man. This man is old, okay? He's older than me, y'all, and you know I'm old. He is old, and he is looking and he is lusting for kids. He is looking and lusting for kids. He married this young girl, this child, as soon as she turned 18. So you mean to tell me he wasn't looking and lusting before she turned 18? And let me tell you this, it is a lot of older men that his age that is going to the church and they're looking for kids. This is the type of stuff that he is pushing. And let me put more icing on the cake. You got a lot of these pastors out here. It's over 1 million pastors in America. It's over 1 million pastors in the Black community. And they are doing nothing. And they're just sitting by and watching all this and gathering money. Church is nothing but a business. It's not real. They don't really don't want to help individuals. They want to do it for their benefit. It's a selfish business situation that they use and they hook sinker people in that are lost sheep, okay? Because religion is tradition. So people are groomed into that mindset. I know I was. Hell, I got baptized at 5 years old. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just knew that my parents and everybody else was geeking me up to go get baptized because I was going to be reborn again. Because as a child, I was told that I was evil and I was full of sin. I mean, that is some traumatizing shit to say to a child, especially me at that age. So I was like, okay, shit, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I really didn't. I remember when they put me in that goddamn water. I thought they was trying to kill my ass. First of all, I don't even know how to swim. Okay, I don't know how to swim, and I have a fear of water. So they put me in that water in front of all them people. That was very traumatizing. I would never forget. So, honey, you know, kids' mind at a young age, especially when they're groomed into religion, it's all done for. And I can imagine this 18-year-old, her mind, you know, she didn't have no say in it. I mean, she's sitting up here smiling, but she don't know what the hell she's doing. Her parents have failed her. Her parents have failed her. This is disgusting. Where's the daddy at? The daddy is probably grooming another child, or he's probably with a child his dang self. So, honey, let's talk about this. I'm going to show you guys the clip. If you guys can hear me loud and clear, press that 3. Please get the likes up. You guys know this is a challenging topic to talk about. And we're not going to get a whole bunch of likes up in here. So I need the people that really support, and especially these type of topics. Please like it, because when I tell you the church is so protected, the church would never be accountable for all the wicked things that the church do. The church will always be upheld. The church will always be the boss when it comes to the world decisions. Everything is governed by religion. Religion brings money. Religion brings wars. So religion would never face accountability as a whole. It just would never. It's just would never. It's that powerful, and I don't expect it to. But I will expect somebody to hold individuals accountable. I do expect for somebody to hold this man, Dwight Reed, accountable. And he just gets up on his pulpit so happy. And the black women there and the black men there support it. They uplift it and they love it. They see no problems about it. So it made its waves all over. Give me a second. The phone numbers are up, and let me put the StreamYard up here so you guys can call in if you guys have something to say about it. And I want to know, were you raised in the church like I was? Press 5 if you was raised in the church. Press 10 if you were not raised in the church. Everybody was not raised in the church, but I was. I was forced into the church. I'm still traumatized from church. I am. I got PTS, whatever they call it, from being raised in the church. Yes, I do. Okay. I am still traumatized. Do you hear me? Let me get my choice. It should have been my choice. It should have been I'm too young. Okay. So let's go here. This is the clip.
And I wish some of y'all would mess with my wife, Jordan. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. Well, you will see me on the news. Let me just tell you that right now. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. You better walk by and say, praise the Lord. That's what you better do. Because that's my wife. And she grown. She didn't need nobody to sign no paperwork for her. Now, if this was out in the streets, y'all be saying she made a come up. But you a hypocrite. So don't you forget the Bible say marriage is honorable. And the Bible said when you find a wife, you find favor with God, honey. I found some favor with God. And we sleeping good at night. Ain't nobody up all night worrying about all these crooks. But I felt I need to say that because somebody talking about what they're going to do if they see you. I'm telling you now, don't let the devil fool you. Because I ain't the one to play with. I get on the other side here. Wish you would. Yeah, you can be the pastor. Yeah, me. You start threatening bodily harm, that's a problem. And please don't come over here because everybody in here packing over here. Please don't come over here showing out. I'm asking you nicely as I know how. Over the last. And I wish some of y'all would.
That is so sad. It is so sad that we live in a place where you have all these grown men and women in this congregation uplifting this and supporting this. And he got big money. And did you hear how he compared it to the world? Talking about, well, if she was in the street, she would have had a come up as if she is some type of whore that's looking as he feel like he is the prize. He feel like you should be thankful that a 60-year-old man with money is taking care of a child. And it's just so sick. It is sick and it's disgusting. And people are saying her father done pimped her out. That is how bad it is. And when I tell you they are pushing this type of agenda all through these church, I mean, it's historically, church has been pushing pedos in the church. That ain't nothing new, but it was quiet down. Now it's getting back up again. And people are on a comment side, and I want to read some of that. It says, Lord, set her free, leave the insurance money behind. Ron donated a dollar. Thank you for the super sticker, child. Okay. So going back to the comments. So people are saying, I hope he pass away and leave a life insurance behind. But the mental trauma that this girl is already enduring you can't pay that. She is in the world of chaos. She is in a world of confusion. And what does this 18 and 63-year-old have in common? Nothing. He is using her. He is using her youth, and it is sick. And she has to unpack a lot of this sickness that this has happened. A lot of it. People are saying he's going straight to you know where, using the Lord to justify his likes for young kids. Yeah. And make no mistake about it, she's not the only child that he's messing with. I'm sure he probably got other side little girls that he's messing with. And it's so interesting that these church pastors, they can be very worldly in the pulpit and nobody blinks an eye. That is how bad it has gotten in the church of corruption. It says a pedo in the pulpit seems about right, and I called it. Yes, he is. He is definitely a pedo in the pulpit that is spewing all this. And his ass should need to be going in jail. But people are going to protect him. And even if he is going to jail for it, they are still going to uplift him. And that's why Diddy, a lot of people, have you heard this saying in the black community? They said if Diddy hide behind Christianity, that black people will forgive him. Have you heard that saying? Press 1 if you have, press 4 if you have not. And that speaks volumes because everybody knows that religion is so powerful. No matter what devious thing you have done, as long as you hide behind religion, as long as you label yourself a Christian or one of the religion groups, then you are protected. They do protect their own, no matter how evil, no matter what it is, as long as you are under that radar or under that label, you will be supported and uplifted. And that's why you have so many pedos in the church, because they are protected. They're still going to do their pedo stuff. They still going to pretend and say, well, I'm going to pray about it. I'm not like that no more. Bullshit. They still like that. They just hiding behind the church. And that's just what it is. It's been what it's always been. Look at Chris Stokes and that Marcus Houston. He hide behind a religion. And that is where you will find most of these pedos and evildoers is in the church. That's where they dwell in the church, because that is where they're protected and supported. So let's go up here. It says it's the fact that he still got members for me, like none of y'all got sense. It's a lot of members. Shit, not did you hear that whole congregation? It was a lot of them. Hey Tony, how are you? Okay, Tony, I can't hear you.
Doing fine. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just going over this story that just hit TikTok.
Give me 1 second. I got something going on here.
1 second.
I need to fix it right quick.
Okay. So also I want to go over here to TikTok, and a lot of people are speaking about it as well.
When it comes to an older man and a younger woman relationship, y'all love to jump in the comments and say, oh, it's okay, he living his best life. But how do you feel about this situation? That is a video of a 65-year-old pastor named Dwight who's on stage defending himself for marrying a younger woman. Now, the problem is when he met and married his wife, she was 19 years old. And not only was she 19 years old, she was his former student. He mentored that child.
That he groomed that child. And I heard it was 18. And you know what? In the streets, if they say she's coming in to come up, it's still a child, no matter how you twist and slice it.
Some of y'all would mess with my wife, Jordan.
So when he says some of y'all messing with her, he don't want you guys to get in her ear. He don't want you guys to let her know that she is being tricked and groomed by the devil himself. He don't want you guys to say it. Nobody is going to mess with her. Nobody is going to hit her or do anything that way. He don't want you guys speaking to her. Okay, DJ Tony, are you ready to talk or not yet?
No, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
You know what? This is a crying shame. And people need to stop saying touch not thy anointed. This ain't got nothing to do with anointedness. This craziness is gone beyond the spectrum of what the church should be. It's a downright total disgrace. And the big thing about it is everybody still send their money to these churches. Now, he is 60-something years old.
65.
65 years old. He is. How you going to be 65 years old and marry an 18-year-old?
Because he was her student when she was a child. So he groomed her. He had his eyes on her when she was about 11, 12 years old.
Of course, we know that, because I mean, if she married him, she had to be groomed. But I'd like to know where the parents was in this situation.
They said the father pimped his daughter out. I guess the pastor gave money to the guy, and the father and the mom. Who knows? And maybe they're into stuff like that as well. But this young girl, she is not protected. Of course, he do not want her to get no education. He just want her to be in that kitchen slaving, and he gonna get off on her. And I'm sure he's messing around with other young girls. This is just not her.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. That's a trait of a dog. And if he would stoop that low, of course, he's got dogism in him for sure. There ain't no doubt in my mind about that. This, you know what? I have a gospel radio station, and I woke up this morning about 3 a.m. Hawaii time, and I said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm actually going to start. I'm gonna start calling these people out on the radio. Because this isn't right. There's no way anybody with good common sense can say that this is okay. There's nobody with good common sense can say that this child wasn't groomed. There's nobody with good common sense say they should be going to that man's church. There's nobody with good common sense that should be standing by that fool. He's an absolute fool.
You're right. And it's so many of our Black people that are blindsided by religion, and they just don't want to see it for what it is, because it's like a cult. It's a cult behavior.
It is. It is
hearing groups of individuals willing to take themselves out of here because they believe that the pastor said, if you do this, then you're going to ascend to a heavenly place, and you have all those followers that do it. So, a lot of religions are cult behavior, and I feel like this group, they can't think for themselves. Their mind is their leader.
Okay, that's their leader, but that leader is so much with some trickery. Hey, I'm gonna let my friend talk to you and let the people know what's going on. Watch this here. Watch this.
Good morning, y'all. Welcome to the church. Get freaky. I'm the pastor, y'all, and I got a word today. Oh yeah, what's up with you, that girl? Oh, I'll talk to you after service. Yeah. Okay, now, let's get our Bibles today and read the scripture. The scripture says, just as I am the pastor, you are the children. I want you to take close attention to my words today. I will see you after the service. Yeah. Come on down.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. right there. That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Well,
most
it's sad when the world can see demons before people that are blindsided. But like I said, I think this pastor do have a cast a spell on his congregation. I think he has been putting a spell on his congregation that has lead them blinded.
Well, now in a serious tone, you know what? I wouldn't even say it's a spell, and I'll tell you why I don't. I say it's not a spell. He is already operating in a demonic realm in the beginning. So if he is a demonic leader, that means his church is under demonic teachings. So that means that anytime somebody walks in that church, they're not walking into the blessings of God. They're walking into demonic worship. So spirits of the demonic realm take over them and what's in the church because he is a demonic leader. So the only thing can come out of that church is nothing but demonic worship straight from the beginning. In the house that looks like a church, but it ain't really a church. It is straight up a straight demonic center. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm gonna call it out for what it is. Probably 60% of these churches out here are operating in the same capacity. And you go to these churches and you see what these pulpit pimps are doing, and you still continually go to them. Man, touch not God's anointed. That's the man of God. That's the man of God. Well, you know what? I'll take that back. You have little G, big G. Little G, big G. That's the little G. A God of another universe. It ain't the God of heavens. It ain't the God of heaven. People have been buffooned with all of this craziness, with all these preachers for years. When it's gonna stop? Black people, when we gonna start realizing that we being hoodwinked and bamboozled by these folk? And the only thing you losing is your rent money because you giving them money to do what they do.
Well, they can't see it because they've been groomed into it. That is tradition. That is how they were brought up ever since they came out the womb. So it's hard for them to think for themselves because we were brought up in a society where you don't think for yourself. To think for yourself is to be wicked. You have to follow the leader, the guardian of the sheep, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
You know, whatever he says, and you follow because God talks to him through him to talk to you. So if that man said it, then God talked to that man to talk to you. Yeah. You don't have the power. That man got the power. Our pastor, that is our leader. He is ordained. He is chosen by God himself. And you will not defile his name. You will not. You don't, if it's something that y'all don't understand, they'll say, see, God works in mysterious ways. You don't get it because you're human and you don't think like he think, but he is chosen. So they put these men on pedestals like they're semi-gods.
Not semi-gods, demigods.
Oh, yeah.
Demigods. Because they're gods, but they're not the gods of heaven. They're the gods of hell.
Yeah, but in their mind, they're the closest thing to God is these men on the pulpit. So therefore, they want to get close to them. Therefore, they praise them. Yeah. Therefore, if they have favor with the pastor, they feel like they have favor with God himself.
Yeah, that's correct. That is very correct. But you know, I'm so glad that you picked up this situation and talked about it, because this thing with the churches is just too far out of hand. It is too far out of hand, and people's lives are becoming torn up. People's families are becoming torn up because of this very type of buffoonery. Can I mention another situation, if you don't mind, that's dealing with the church?
I really wanted to stick on this, but
no, okay, yeah. No, I'm gonna do that.
I want to play some of this TikTok, Tony, but I definitely
okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
I wanted to continue her, and it was some other videos I wanted to play before I get off of it. So
Yep.
I will continue to play her.
Yep. Go ahead. I'm with you.
What you gonna do if you see her? Well, you will see me on the news. Let me just tell you that right now.
So he says you will see him on the news if you ever speak to her. So he's willing to do another sin, which is he's pretty much threatening you.
Yeah, that's what
he will K you if you speak some any type of empowerment in her, because he has her in a trance where she is not listening to nobody but the sound of his voice, and he don't need you to tell her anything different. And if you do, he sees it as a threat, and he will K you, and he will go to jail. That is what he's saying. That is the time that he's using on the pulpit, okay, to tell, I guess, these congregation members or people on the outs, because he feels like he has some people in his congregation that is traitors and that is betraying him by trying to get his child wife to escape or to realize that she is in danger. And he sees that a threat, and he is saying, I will K you if you talk to her. I don't get it. That ain't that a sin? Decaying somebody? So why would you say it? And why would you say it so loudly and boldly in the church where other men is hearing this, and other men, they will go and get a child as well. And anybody that comes to them, they're going to follow the pastor, and they say, I'm going to K you too. So it's promoting more K'ing. Why would you? Okay, you can say something.
It's the church of pedophilia is what it is.
Well, let's not say the whole word.
Oh, my bad. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, that's what it is. You can't. Me and this dude is the same age, and I know he can't whoop me. I'm combat certified. He can't whoop me. I get down on him. And didn't I hear somewhere where he said that they got guns in his church? Did he say that?
So I continue to play.
Talking about what you gonna do if you see her? You better walk by and say, praise the Lord. That's what you better do. Because that's my wife. And she grown. She didn't need nobody to sign no paperwork for her. Now, if this was out in the streets, y'all be saying she made a come up. But you a hypocrite. So don't you forget the Bible say marriage is honorable.
So I want to hear more what she has to say about it. I'm going to fast forward it and see if she have anything to say.
When it comes to an older man.
All right. So I want to go here and just going through the TikTok.
Pause to read. How disgusting is he? Like, how is this still happening? How aren't we protecting our girls? Like, come on.
Because y'all not watching.
I don't think that his position in that church didn't play a huge role in this. It's why he was able to do this multiple times. It's disgusting.
Because y'all ain't watching and y'all not keeping y'all foots down. Y'all keep on playing with it.
Love 771s. This video is just for you.
Why is the volume so low? I don't know why this volume is so low on TikTok. But feel free to call in. I do want to hear from the rest of you on this topic. Here's the phone number right here, and the top is the link is at the chat. Yeah. So call in. We don't have a lot of phone calls on this topic. Why is that? He should be ashamed, but he's not. The volume speaks. I'm looking in the comment section. Get this guy out of here. Well, you can't get him out of here because he's protected by the church and the church is uplifting him. I'm sure if all those people in that congregation left, then he will feel convicted. He will feel like, something he's doing wrong. But the church is going to uplift him, and the church is the body of the people, that what makes the church the body, the congregation. So herefore, would you stop with the lies? That is not Sasha Obama. Oh, Sasha Obama is way older. This girl is a kid, a teen. Don't play with it. Do not play with it. So Quiet said, yeah, I'm still hearing about this. Yeah. It's her dad secretly. No, they said her dad pimped her out with the pastor. I guess it's another R. Kelly situation. You remember when R. Kelly had a lot of those teen young girls. These young girls are not protected. For you guys to just coming in, I will replay it so you guys can hear it in full. Here it go.
And I wish some of y'all would mess with my wife, Jordan. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. Well, you will see me on the news. Let me just tell you that right now. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. You better walk by and say, praise the Lord. That's what you better do.
All right. So in the comments, it says, Gigi, I do not tend to speak on men of cloth. Everyone has their opinion. I just don't speak on it. Well, that's your right. If you believe that he's of cloth, that's on you. But everybody see right through him. He is not of nothing but pedo agenda is. That's all he is. That is all he is. He ain't nothing. But if that's your pastor, then shame on you.
Cause that's my wife. And she grown. She didn't need nobody to sign no paperwork for her.
Somebody says she cannot be attracted to him. They don't care about this teen girl. They don't care about the 18-year-old. It's all about what he wants. He wanted her. He picked her up and he groomed her. He was her teacher in Bible study. And he been knowing her ever since she was a little kid. And this is the flower that he put it out here. And it's a lot of the pastor or the men in that church. They have kids as they're dating with, fornicating with, and he gets on a pulpit and say he will cave people that speak to his wife, which is his teen wife. And he's willing to commit a different crime. And y'all don't got no outrage on that. Why are you guys so comfortable with these pastors doing all this stuff? Y'all not loud enough for me. Y'all not outraged enough for me. And that is very telling. That's very telling.
Now, if this was out in the streets, y'all be saying she made a come up.
If this was out in the streets, y'all was saying you had made a come up. Why say such a thing? I mean, these are Christians. What they know about the streets? I don't know. Maybe these people, they half in the streets and half in church, lukewarm people. But he says that he compares it that in his mind, he sees that this 18-year-old, 17-year-old should be thankful that he picked her. So I'm sure he groomed her to feel like, she's blessed because God told him to get her, because that's how they will play it. God told me that you ought to be my wife. God told me that you ought to be with me. And if you want to do God's will, then you need to surrender and to be my wife. You need to bear my kids because that's what God told me to tell you. And she has been groomed all her life that he is the closest thing to God. So of course she's going to believe all this hocus pocus and this foolishness.
I wonder if they had a school attached to the church.
Possibly because they said he's a teacher at the Bible studies at that place. So I'm
Mhm.
not sure if it's a full out school, but they do have classes. But I don't know if it's a separate big school attached because some churches they have classes, but it's not a school. And then you have some churches that have a whole school like K through 8,
Mhm.
attached. So I don't know if it was that big where he had a whole school attached.
Mhm. Yeah, because they have a lot of these churches like him that have schools, and these kids be going to school and they grow up and they be looking at them. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Come on, and then they start grooming these kids from young age. True story. I personally know a church.
Somebody in the comments section, I don't know how you can really take their word for it, but
Uh-huh.
they said it is a school connected to it.
It appears that has to be because I'm looking the pictures that you just put up and I saw on the screen. I'm like, you know what? This child, and I'm still calling it a child. This child looks like it must have been going to a school attached to the church, and ain't no telling what this man had been doing with this child the whole time it's been growing up. And the other thing is,
But if the pastor is doing it, the other men are following behind the pastor.
oh, of
You know
course.
it's more.
Of course it is. I'd like to know what state that is.
He is speaking with all his men congregation, and all the men are giving him a high five. Yeah, let's get these kids. Let's get these kids. That is what they're going for. And
Mhm.
I'm sure they're fornicating behind their wife's back, hooking up with these little girls and saying, God say, don't say nothing.
God said, "Don't say nothing." That you know. Ooh, I want to say
Well,
something.
if he got a big if he got a big school, Carla, not only do he got a big following, but he got a big money. So he's protected.
Hold on a second. You just said something to jar my memory. I think I might. What's his name? Bishop Reed.
Dwight Reed. I
Dwight.
believe his name is Dwight Reed.
Let me see. I need to see if this is in my thing of preachers here. I'm checking to see.
People are saying the fact that people are clapping and praising him, some Christians really pick and choose what they want to accept and not accept. It is very sick. Please don't play the organ in the background, like the really sing a word though.
Mm.
Okay. Now, Pastor, how long you been watching this baby? Since she was probably 5 or 6. So it's really wicked and crazy out here. And it's sad that y'all not calling in. Where y'all at? Black community or community, if you ain't black, why y'all not calling in on this? Is it hitting on some toes? Huh?
You know it is. Gigi, you know it is. We got you got to tell the truth. Our people are the first ones to always get hoodwinked besides little boys in the Catholic realm. I'll check. We need to start telling it just like it is. This ain't no gossip here. This is a straight fact. This ain't no gossip, no gossip or nothing. This is what's going on, and we can't keep hiding it. Everybody that want to hide a situation like this, you got to be crazy. You talking about, and then someone said it right. You got the nerve to have the organ playing in the background, advocating, provocating what you say because they believe what you believe because you done taught them all the same thing. They've been hoodwinked. That's a cult. That's not a church. That's an occult.
Yeah, and Katrina, I see you up in the comment section. You suffer from what you call that syndrome? That you in love with your captive. That's syndrome. What do y'all call that syndrome? That when you in love with the man that groomed you and you love it. What do you call that? You got the what is it? Hot sauce syndrome? I know it ain't hot sauce syndrome. What is Stockholm syndrome? Yeah. Katrina, you suffer from Stockholm syndrome, girl.
Wow.
She got that Stockholm syndrome. She
wow.
thinks, oh, Okay.
Wow.
She up in the comments just advocating. Oh, you still a victim, Katrina. You know, some victims don't see themselves as victims because they like it. And that's Stockholm syndrome. You still a victim. It's all right. Go get some help. Go get some help. Talk about it with the peoples now. He's looking for a caretaker. Not about celebrities, not interested. Oh, somebody said, well, if it's not about celebrities, they're not interested because they're so, I guess, consumed with the celebrity world. Well, that's sad because you need to advocate for all these girls all around the world, just not in Hollywood, because it goes on in your house and your community, your neighborhood, your church, your schools, and you're going to bypass that because you worried about Hollywood celebrities. And your own daughters is being affected. And that's sad. And you're not protecting them. So I'm looking up here as well. A dirty old man with worms. I'm surprised.
Hey, they can't talk, say dirty old man with worms. I'm 65, but I ain't got no worms. They just stop that.
I'm sorry. I'm just reading comments. I ain't thinking. That's why people don't like going, okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to come here and let you guys know what was going on. I'm going to cut it short because y'all not calling in. Okay. The phone. Well, let me put the phone number up here. The phone numbers is up here. So you guys are not calling in about this and drones.
GG.
Last words.
GG.
Yes.
I just found some information. This is an apostolic church.
What does that mean?
Okay, so you that's a denomination, right? So you have the apostolic, you have the Baptist, you have the Methodist, you have the Catholic, all this, right? So in the apostolic church, that's the organization that pretty much they're hard on sin, on people sinning. I'm
saying that he would case somebody.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So this very bishop is the son of Jeremiah Reed, who started that church in 1969. So this dude, the dad ain't around anymore, so he took over the church, and thus he doing what he want to do. Now, oh boy, Lord have mercy. Did you read about this guy?
No, I didn't read too much about him. I just saw the story and just hopped on the story. I don't know much about the apostolic and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I grew up in Baptist, so that's all I pretty much know about. I know about Baptist, I know about Catholic, I know about Lutheran, and I know about non-denomination, but all them other Methodists and stuff, I don't get into all that. But hold on, Tony. I do have a call. A call from 561. You're live on the air. 561.
Hello.
Yes, talk about it.
I come from a family of Pentecostal. My uncle has his own church.
What does Pentecostal mean for those that may not be aware? Can you just break it down in a little small definition?
Well, me knowing, it's just a church that I don't really know exactly what it means. I didn't go there.
Hold on, 561. Maybe Tony. Well, thank you, Tony. Can you just can you shorten the term up? Pentecostal, what is the meaning?
Basically, Pentecostal churches and apostolic churches are the same. There's one group that's called they believe that the Father and Son and the Holy Ghost are one, and the other side believe that that they're all three are separate. So, but then there's some under the Pentecostal faith that believe both sides. So
I'm so confused. So the Pentecostal, to shorten it up, they believe what again?
Okay, but a lot of people call them Jesus only people.
Pentecostal or Jesus only people, and what's their belief?
They believe that it's wrong to wear short dress. They believe that it's wrong to wear makeup.
I'm talking about. I guess when it comes to the three people or Jesus, God, and you was breaking that down, right?
Right. Okay. So basically, you have the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So they say one Lord, one faith, and one baptism.
So it's all one. They believe that all that is just one person.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, that's Pentecostal. They believe all of it is one. Is that what separates them from the rest of them?
That's what they believe. Yes.
That separates them from being Baptist. That separates them from the other ones. Okay.
Yes. Now the extreme belief between the two is that the Baptists don't mind drinking, smoking, and partying and all of that. All right.
The Baptist what? The Baptist drinks?
Oh yeah.
Oh
See?
wow.
Man,
Well, I get confused with the Jehovah's Witness. They don't drink, I don't think.
I don't know about Jehovah's Witness.
There's so many groups and cliques.
Yeah. That's the one faith I don't know about because for some reason I avoid them. I've always closed my door and locked it on them, so I don't know. But
they don't believe in drinking. The Pentecostals, they should not be drinking alcohol.
No, that's an absolute no. You don't drink.
I did not know that. Go ahead. I'm learning it.
You don't drink. You don't go.
What else?
You don't go out partying.
You don't go out partying.
You don't be in places where sinners go. They completely pull themselves away from anybody that's like that.
Do they smoke weed?
No.
Okay.
That's a no. That's a no. Now, believe it or not, there's another big pastor. That's what he is Pentecostal apostolic.
Well, can they eat shrimp? Can they eat fried chicken?
Oh, that's they shrimp and fried chicken. One of their things they be serving all the time.
Okay, because I know some religions they say they can't eat shrimp. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Pentecostal apostolic folks pretty much eat anything.
Pig feet too?
Huh?
Pig feet and chitlins?
Oh yeah, they eat that. They believe that you should you don't have to worry about pork and all that. Just bless and eat.
All right, Pentecostals.
I grew up Pentecostal.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
I ain't that now, but I grew up. I grew up. My mom and dad was Pentecostal pastors.
What are the symbols? Do they have like a different symbol or like?
No, they don't. They don't really have a. They don't have a different symbol. Pretty much the cross is it if they even display the cross.
What about colors? Do they do colors?
They have a lot of colors. The primary colors that they use is purple and gold, and also what's the red color? So the bishop would wear purple, and the pastor would wear red. Yeah, red, white, and the bishop would wear purple and gold.
All right, BTF, how you doing? I'm glad that you joined us. I would love to know your thoughts about all this.
Hi, Gigi. Hi, Tony.
Hey, how you doing?
Unfortunately, in this specific case, she was what, 18 or 19 when she married him?
18.
Okay. Under the law, I don't think that even if you got 20,000 signatures on a petition, there would not be any type of investigation. I mean, morally, it's terrible, but legally, because she was at the age of consent when they married, I don't think they can do anything. Now, from what I understand, her parents, when she was younger, this bishop invested money into a restaurant that her parents co-own. So he financially bound them to him.
Wow.
So, I know you've been talking about the grooming. But if she was raised in this church, it's most likely that she's been indoctrined since she's a child about the specific role of a female, meaning that your hope and dream is not to grow up, go to college, go away, have a business career. Your role in life is to grow up, get married, and have babies. It is probably an honor to marry the bishop because he's the highest thing to them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know if she even thought that I don't think even now, she might not think this is wrong because it was normal all her life.
Yeah, how could she when she was groomed with that mentality? She was never given a choice.
Yes,
And
because the church was important.
Wants to think differently, I'm sure they condemned her for thinking like that. I'm sure when she have questions, you don't question God's people. You do what you're told. You stay in a female's place. See, that's what's wrong with you. That's why I don't want you listening and talking to nobody, because they're trying to get in your head and turn you against your husband and God's people.
Yeah, I'm sure she's probably brought up where, let's say, education is not that important, because what's going to happen is by the time you're 18, you're going to get married and have babies. You're not going to have a career.
Well, they teach at their school the Abeka system, and which is that school system is very, 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 very accredited. They may not do a good job at it, but they do that. BTS, I'm seeing that the state of Iowa Attorney General's office is investigating him for other potential charges, and that in the district court of
I know, I read that. Supposedly another church is trying to sue him, and they want an investigation opened. And again, would they even open an investigation? Because you're talking about two different states. I believe she's in Texas and the church that is suing is in Iowa, or the other way around.
Well, the church in Iowa, that case is completely different from her situation, but they're using her situation as a way to petition to get back into that court. But that district, the district court of Iowa, I think that is a federal court. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the same jurisdiction that would be for Texas anyway.
Now, BTS,
I just don't think. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but BTF, this is my thinking, okay? That this man, this is not the first little girl that he's attracted to.
No, it's not.
Yes,
if
I agree.
Have a school of them, I'm sure he's been messing around and fornicating with other young girls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she is not going to be the only faithful woman that he's faithful to. And I'm sure he's messing with other young girls as well. And I'm sure if the head of the man is doing it, he's going to employ other men that have his same thinking and values when it comes to little kids. So I'm sure in the schools and the church is a whole bunch of freak offs that's gone on with these kids.
Yes, I agree that if they want to investigate him for possible younger victims or even his church being involved, but for her specifically, because she's 18 or 19 when they married, not unless
they was messing around before she turned 18.
But they've got to prove that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think if they got to her, she would probably not speak to the authorities. So how do you prove that he's been messing with her since she's 12?
Maybe we just don't know. The reason why we don't know, BTF, because she never had a voice.
Exactly.
So we've seen a lot of situations where a lot of these kids and a lot of people are groomed into certain religions and they want to break away, but they're condemned when they have free will. They're condemned when they think for themselves, and they're surrounded by people that thinks like them. So place them in a different environment and you might see a different outcome that will surprise you.
Yeah, you're right. And Gigi, you were on point from the very beginning. The father arranged the marriage with the pastor.
Uh-huh.
James Belcher.
Wow. Tell us more about the father.
Okay, so it says her father sold his daughter out and pimped her out for his own self-gain. Belcher said in an April 6th interview with a nonprofit advocacy group that looks into church abuse and predominantly African-American churches, a Texas clergyman who heads up the nonprofit actually had a conversation with him, and he said that he needed to unmuzzle the whole situation. So
well, I also look at it this way. The man is 63, and obviously he likes the female young. So he had the same proclivities when he was 50 and when he was 40 and he was 30. So isn't it strange that this man does not marry until he's 63?
Yeah.
Well, that's not, I don't think that's his first wife, is it?
I couldn't find anything that said that he had numerous wives. I mean, what
Do he
happened to
have
them?
Do he have any kids?
I'm
I
checking
didn't
that.
see anything.
I'm checking it right now. I'm running it on our network now. I'm actually looking at that information as we speak.
I bet he got a lot of stuff in his closet that he's hiding.
Because if you're the bishop of a church, don't they not believe in divorce?
That depends. That depends on where you are. So the scripture that they pretty much use for that, they say if the wife chooses to be saved, then the husband is justified by being with the wife. But if the wife does not, and the husband is, he can divorce her, and vice versa, the wife, the man. That's what they believe in the Pentecostal church. So
all you got to do is stop your faith in a religion, and then you can divorce.
Pretty much.
Oh, I thought he might have unalived them if they exist. I mean, I couldn't find anything that he's been married before.
Yeah, I'm looking.
So they would have had this. They would have had, I want to talk to his ex-wife. He never married before. This is his first time marrying, y'all. Thank y'all for telling that, because it would have been all on the blogs. We want to know what his kids think about this. Maybe he don't got no kids either. Amanda don't got no kids, don't have no wives, and married at 18. Honey, he might not be into little girl. Let me shut up.
It sounds like he might be down low.
I hope
allegations out there, but I don't know.
I mean, I hope he can be investigated into.
He's being investigated.
Uncovering whether or not he's been doing this type of thing with other, and how to question those people, because if the parents of these other kids are part of that church, they circle the wagon.
Okay.
This little girl can just be a cover up for a damn beard, because he needs somebody that's just a woman to be a symbol and just be quiet. I don't know. Let me stop making assumptions. Keep going, Tony.
Yeah, the other way you could search information on his name is, instead of using bishop, use pastor. Pastor Dwight. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll change it to pastor then.
Yeah, it's starting to look interesting.
Gigi, you're funny. We go down these crazy conspiracy holes. Because I do like your theory that maybe she's the beard, and he's doing,
because why wouldn't he be with any other woman? And
that could be why he's been single all this time too.
An 18-year-old will make a great beard because she's always conditioned to know her place. He's seen with the woman. And,
Oh,
she may bring in young boys.
Mhm,
Maybe he have freak offs like Diddy. And, she's
mhm.
another Cassie. I mean, it's plenty of
Yes.
Cassies out here. We just don't know.
See, if he did that thing with the restaurant with the parents, with her parents, he's
That's
must
an
have
evil
done that
person.
for key people in his congregation
Yeah,
to keep
and
their
he's
mouths shut.
another Diddy. Wouldn't Diddy do
Yeah.
something like that? Pay somebody
Hmm.
off to own a young
Yeah.
girl so for his
Well,
freak
it's like a roundabout way. I will invest, I will put up the capital for your business, and you have to give me X every month. I'm your partner. And they're kind of financially bound to you for the rest of their lives. And so they will hold to the secrets that you may have because they don't want to be in financial ruin.
Mm.
he has an interesting background. He is the head bishop of the ambassadors of apostolic. Excuse me. Yeah.
Apostolistic.
Well, that's the apostolic is the faith, but uh this organization is not known to have anything to do with women like that. I'm a bit confused, and he's the head bishop. I'm yeah, I'm totally confused now on this.
Well, the main thing is, can you find anything about him ever being married?
No, I can't because
I already told y'all what it is, allegedly. Let me stop being messy. Because when you look at Marcus Houston, I mean, we know that he's DL, but they're going to marry an 18-year-old, and that is the play. That is the go-to play. Marry an 18 or young girl and, make her beautiful and, be in the church behind religion. That's where they all stay. But I could be wrong. I'm just being messy.
Well, you know what I'm curious about? If they got married when she was 18, did they show pictures of them dating when she was 17 and engaged to him?
They don't show pictures, but they do say that she was a longtime member of the church and she was a member of the school, the J.W. Reed Academy. So she was groomed, and she's been there for most of her life.
And she didn't want to be with this man, but they said it's arranged, like she didn't have a choice.
Well, again, if you've been groomed or indoctrined your whole life that your life goal as a female is to have the best type of marriage, where it is you'd be financially stable, you're marrying basically the leader of the church. That's an
Yeah, but
honor.
you know what, BTF? I don't think she feels that way. The reason why I don't feel like she feels that way, because if she did feel that way, he will make her a speaker of the house. He would love for her to have that mindset, but he does not put her up there as a speaking voice, because possibly she wants to get out as well. Possibly she wants to get away. It's plenty of kids that are under a teaching and they don't have a voice, but just because they're there don't mean they want to be there. I felt like if she was that passionate about being his ride or die, he would love to boast that. I mean, they do have young people, you have youth pastors in the church that they will allow young people to be speakers if they can really talk.
So does she just sit there when he's at the pulpit and she just sits there and she smiles and that's it?
You don't see a lot of her at all. We don't see a lot. All we see is pictures. That has been, you know,
she does sit up front. That's
Okay.
mandatory in the apostolic church.
She sits up front. But did she say anything?
No, it is in the apostolic, and I speak because I grew up in that organization. Well, not that organization, but the same beliefs. She's known as the first lady, and at this point, she is not only just the first lady of that church, but of the whole organizations nationwide of how many churches they may have attached to them.
Wow, that's a big kingdom he has.
Yeah. And
whoa, I didn't know he had multiple churches.
Yes,
whoa.
That's a large organization.
Whoa, that is huge. Oh my God, he might be bigger than Diddy.
He's right there in the religious side.
Well, here's the other question. I just pulled up that article about the one church suing the other church that he's
involved out of
with.
Iowa. Yeah.
It's from 2022, and this was over his marriage to her. So
That's
she's
correct.
got to be 20 now. Do they have kids?
No, she's 19.
No, she's 20 now. If he married her when she was 18, right? Well, that was this article.
And she's
this article
19 to 20 now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I'm looking at the dates now. That's right. You're right, BTS.
Yeah, but the church suing because of him accusing him of being a child predator because he married this 18-year-old girl was from 2022, which means she was 18 in 2022, which means she's 20 now. And I'm wondering if they have kids.
I'm not sure if they have kids, but a lot of it's going up viral now, BTF, because he just went on a pulpit. And I don't know if you heard what he said, but I will replay what he just said. He was threatening people that he would K them if they go up to his wife and try to tell her anything. Here it is.
And I wish some of y'all would mess with my wife, Jordan. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. Well, you will see me on the news. Let me just tell you that right now. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. You better walk by and say, praise the Lord. That's what you better do. Because that's my wife. And she grown. She didn't need nobody to sign no paperwork for her. Now, if this was out in the streets, y'all be saying she made a come up. But you a hypocrite. So don't you forget the Bible says marriage is honorable. And the Bible said when you find the wife, you find favor with God, honey. I found some favor with God. And we sleeping good at night. Ain't nobody up all night worrying about all these crooks. But I felt I need to say that because somebody talking about what they're going to do if they see you. I'm telling you now, don't let the devil fool you. Because I ain't the one to play with. I get on the other side here. Wish you would. Yeah, you can be the pastor. Yeah, me. You start threatening bodily harm, that's a problem. And please don't come over here because everybody in here packing over here. Please don't come over here showing out. I'm asking you nicely as I know how. And I wish.
All right, so BTF, it went viral because he just, made those statements, and that's, why people are more talking about it now again.
Gigi, I just got his background.
Okay.
He's been married 3 times. Jordan is his 4th wife.
Good. He's been married 3 times.
Yeah. He has
What
been married.
all them 3 times? Why so many?
I don't get that, but I'm looking for it. But I definitely got the 3 wives. One of them have recently spoken out. I don't find when that was, but I'm putting it together now. But he's definitely been married 3 times. The 3rd wife has been talking about it. She's openly speaking out about him, and I think she might be in Iowa. But the 4th is Jordan. She's the 4th wife. And
is that this girl?
That's this girl. Yes.
Okay.
She's the 4th wife.
Okay.
Which is a big red flag in itself by him being a bishop. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just reading the lawsuit that I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually the Reed Church that is suing the other church. So the Reed Church is in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
The other church is in Texas. So this bishop is suing the church in Texas basically for defamation. That the other church is running this smear campaign against him and his wife, and they're portraying him as a cult leader and a child predator, which I mean, a lot of people believe, but he's basically suing them for money, saying, you're trying to take my church followers, you're trying to turn people against me, and, you're basically dishonoring me.
Mm-hmm. Now, rightly so, what they're saying is absolutely correct, because by his beliefs and by the way that church organization belief, that's not defamation of character. That's the character of a bishop, and he is not one of character of a bishop by the Bible's terms at all. So I don't know how he can win on that, but if common sense would tell a person, okay, if a person is SA'd and there is a 20-year age gap in the age, that's a serious offense.
In Iowa, how are they on child marriages in Iowa? Are they pro that or against it? How is it in Iowa?
I have no clue.
But you know what? That's the capital of the pedos.
I'll check.
Religion people that marry little kids in Iowa.
I'll check for you right now.
Well, Gigi, what I find very sad is if this girl is the 4th wife, I would want to know with the other 3 wives that Tony found, what age were those wives when he divorced them? Because if he divorced them at 25, she's got 5 more years.
Anthony, this is not the Middle East. This is America. If you want to go to the Middle East and have their standard of living, go ahead. Get your passport. She's 18. She is still a child, Anthony. And for you to think an 18-year-old is grown, and I'm sure if he met her when she was a kid, because he was teaching her when she was a child.
That's correct.
This was an arranged marriage. She was bought and sold, Anthony. But it's clear that you like kids, Anthony. It's clear. So maybe you need to pack your bags and go to the Middle East, okay?
In Iowa, the age to marry is 18. And that seems to be.
That's what he did.
Yeah, that's what he did. So he was with her before then.
Yeah, so even if he was with her.
They said in Iowa, if you or your potential spouse are 16 or 17, a marriage license can be issued to you if both parents consent. And it
At
seems like the
16.
parents do have consent.
That's correct. That is absolutely correct. I'm just now reading that. And you can get in Iowa, you can get married at 16 if they agree. Yeah.
See that's where he's slick. He may very well have been fooling around with her since she's 14, 15. But he did not legally marry her until 18, so that it has the appearance of, you see, I picked an 18-year-old girl because she doesn't have to get the consent of her parents.
Yeah, that's correct. Because the judge has to prove it in Iowa at 16 and 17. Yeah, that's what it says.
Am I still on here?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, because you skipped over me.
I'm sorry. Continue to speak.
I was the first caller.
Oh, I didn't realize.
I'm sorry.
That my parents was my family was Pentecostal, but not me. And you laughed and jumped over me because I didn't know the background of Pentecostal.
I apologize.
I wasn't in Pentecostal.
I apologize.
I said my family was in Pentecostal. But I understand why you skipped over me because they know a lot. But what I was going to say is we're tired of pastors and different people doing this. I've been to many different churches, Baptists, and I even listen to Jehovah's Witnesses, Israelite, Muslims, and I, kind of just listened to all of it. But I had a cousin in New York, which I won't state it, nothing, name or nothing. And she was sleeping with a pastor in the food pantry in the back. And I said, this was years ago. She's engaged and all that now. And she was underage. And she would sleep with him in the back, she said. And I said, did you feel bad with the first lady just sitting on the front row and not knowing anything, and you're going in the back sleeping with this? And she was like, well, I was underage. So it's been happening a long time. My uncle owned the church. He's retired. He lets other people preach in the church. So much stuff went on in that church over the 90s and the early 2000s that was inappropriate. But then yet, they get on the pulpit and they point the finger at everybody else. Right. And that's what people don't like. My mom had me going in that church since I was 5 years old. And then when I became a teenager, I was in and out. But I didn't know what it really was or anything till I got in my 30s. And I'm 47 now, but I didn't understand any of it till I got in my 30s as far as how they treat people and do people. Someone said this, they can see when a transgender or something come in, they can see it, but they can't see other sins, like if a sex offender come in a suit. But they pick on transgenders, gays, and this and that because they can see what's going on when they come in there, and they may look like a man, and then they ask them, well, you can't come in here you can't wear this hair or this dress if you're a man, and all this other stuff. And then when somebody come in there that's a rapist, child molester.
Well, let's not say those names, the essays and stuff like that. But I would say what that is, that they know the pedos, they know the crooked people, and they see them. But I guess if the congregation don't see it, then they won't say anything. But they know more than they leading on to. They just going for their own agenda. Because the pastor, he knows the crooked people in the church because he is crooked himself. So he knows it, but if you don't see it, then he won't say nothing about it. But if it's obvious, then he's going to have a field day with it because he will point it out. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but it took me a long time to get it. That's why I don't go to church anymore. But I noticed it was happening with my own family and the way they had drama throughout the church over the years. And I'm like, wow.
Got it.
You know, and, you know, it wasn't a lot of social media back then. So when it, you know, people around town and other places knew.
So going
like
sorry
this.
to interrupt you, but going back to this pastor and this child that he's married with, what are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts about Dwight?
I just think that it's wrong. Just with common sense. Forget the laws. The laws say a lot of different stuff, but
yeah, and it is because I think people in this group, if the law said that a 14-year-old could marry a grown man, then y'all would be like, well, she 14, and it says it's right to marry a 14. Y'all will excuse that. And it's interesting because you want to pick and choose when it comes to the laws. Okay. You don't agree with all laws. You know, you don't agree with all the laws. So you just cool with grown men going after kids. That's what it is. Okay. And you're using a law to stand behind it, but you don't agree with all the laws. So don't you come up in here talking with the law. The law is wrong. At one point in time, the law said that, you know, Black people can't do X, Y, and Z. Black people should not be able to drink from the same fountain. Black people shouldn't do this. Black people couldn't do that. Those laws was wrong. But you would be the same people that say, well, it's against the law for a Black person to speak out. Well, it's against the law for a Black person to sit with a white person. So stop the bull crap because you do not align yourself with all laws that are passed through Congress. Just say what you want to say. You okay with grown men sleeping with kids? 18-year-old is still a child. They say your mind is not even developed to you in your more years above. And you know she's been arranged. You know this is not her doing. You know she's not in love with this man. You know she does not have a life of her own. Her whole life in existence is bought and paid for by her father. And you don't think anything is wrong with her father?
That's correct.
Not up there. You don't see nothing wrong with it because you don't care about that. All you care about this 65-year-old and men like yourself getting with 14, 15-year-olds and doing what you want to do with them.
That's correct, Gigi. And you know what? I see some of the people saying 18-year-old is grown, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm 65. I just turned 65 this month, and I have an 18-year-old
They only say because of law, but I'm sorry, that's all they on it.
Yeah, and she just graduated from high school yesterday, and I wish somebody would tell me talking about they're gonna marry my child. Just graduated from high school.
Can you see that, Tony? Your 18-year-old daughter coming home with a 65-year-old man?
He did. He did.
Now, how do you think that 65-year-old man will want your daughter that's 18, just turned 18?
I can't even imagine it. It's not. It ain't. No. I don't. The law could say whatever they want to say. That is my baby. No.
BTF, if a 65-year-old man come to you and with your daughter at 18, what would you think? Why would he want your daughter? Out of all the women, older women or mid women that he can go for, why do you think he fixated on your 18-year-old daughter?
My first reaction would be he's a predator. That's it. He's a predator. There's no, what kind of conversation are you going to have with that age difference?
You can't.
You know what I'm saying? how do you relate to each other?
He's going to say, I can teach her how to be a woman.
No, my immediate reaction is he is a predator.
And he first
and
needed to
I
teach it.
literally
I'm sorry,
would
good.
ship her off across the country to another relative and take all of her electronics that he cannot reach her. No.
What if he tell you, but I love her?
I don't care. I am not seeing past. He is a predator. I don't care if he says, I will give you $1 billion. I don't care.
What if he say, I'm just role playing with you, BTF. I can afford her college and you can't. I can provide a better life for her that you will ever provide. I understand her more than you do. I allow her to eat ice cream at night and you don't. She likes me because I can give her the life that she deserves and you can't.
All I am stuck on as I look at his photo is all I am seeing is Grandpa Smurf coming at my daughter.
Wow.
Okay. So I am not hearing anything that you say.
BTF, I hope you don't think I'm Grandpa Smurf.
No, I'm saying that I'm just seeing this. I'm not seeing, because she's not putting you in the role of approaching my 18-year-old daughter.
Oh, gotcha. No, I'll just think about the age.
So
That's all.
I don't, he is a predator. He is. I mean, I'm already picturing lizard lip, a lizard tongue coming out of his mouth. No, he's a predator. There's nothing good of what he wants. I know that he wants something in the sexual manner from her. He doesn't want her to adopt her to be his daughter. Okay. He wants her because he wants her naked. Okay. This is not little orphan Annie where this older man finds this child and, adopts her from the street. This is predatorial behavior where what she has that it's his desire, not for the benefit of her. It's all about for the benefit of himself. And if he likes young, that means that she has an expiration date.
Probably so. I mean, 4 marriages at the age 63, 65, whatever it is. Come on, man.
What do you say when people in the comment section says 18 is grown? What do you mean by grown? Okay, what do you guys say when they say 18 is grown?
A phrase that is an oxymoron, commonly used but don't make sense. An 18-year-old person, okay, is of legal age by law, but are they mentally developed as an adult? No. You know why? You still help paying their bills. They still more than likely under your household. I'm paying all the bills for college. Me, not her at all. So while now, if you say 21, I might kind of go with it a little bit. 21, 18 years old. No, they still got baby teeth in their mouth.
I mean, you're still figuring out who you are. You're still trying to figure out where you want to go in life. And somebody that's 65 years old, they definitely going to take advantage of you mentally.
Of course, me personally,
man versus an 18-year-old mind.
No comparison. There's nothing that 18-year-old mind can offer. Oh, you know what? He want a slave. He want a slave to do everything he say. Now, there it is right there. There it is. That's what he want. He want a slave. He want a shuttlebug. See, a real woman will slap him upside his bald head. A real woman will tell him he ain't gonna be talking to her any kind of way. A real woman gonna say, "Nah, you ain't doing nothing with me tonight. No, it ain't going down tonight." No, that's what a real woman will do. But he wants somebody that he can just shut up and do what he say. He ain't no man.
Now, can I ask you guys a question in the comment section? If they reduce the laws to 12 years old, would your still stance would say, well, a 12-year-old is grown according to the laws? So everybody that's saying 18 is grown, if they was to reduce the age to 12, would you continue to say, well, 12-year-old is grown? Because society makes up what is grown and what's not. And you guys are saying it by law. So if they passed a bill that said 12-year-old is grown, what do you say? Do you say that? I'm asking for everybody that goes with the laws. Would you say a 12-year-old is grown because that's what the law says? Huh? Exactly. 18 is not grown. BTF, are you there?
I'm here. I thought you were asking the chat.
Yeah.
I'm here too. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, Gigi, I guess to be vulgar, if my 12-year-old daughter was approached by a whatever age man, I literally would stuff her back up my vagina and say, you need to cook
let's
a little
not
bit
be
more.
that. Let's not be that.
I mean, literally, that would be my.
Okay.
She's not cooked enough. She's not.
Got it.
You're not ready for that.
Now, somebody in the post says 18 is adult, but you only said that based on American laws, right? That's the only reason why you say that. That's why I said if America changed their mind tomorrow, would you follow American laws? Because you don't have a mind for yourself, because your whole argument is because it's by law. In certain countries, it's by law that you're 12 years old. So in that country, do you feel like it's okay for 12-year-olds to get married, to have child marriage in those countries? And you will probably say, yeah, because the country says so. So it's okay for do it over there. Would let me know that you cool with pedos, that you are of that is what you sympathize with. You are one of these people that we're talking about, and you are feeling some type of guilt. You are feeling conviction about this. And this is why you're fighting so hard to say, well, America says 18, so 65, 60, 40 should be with an 18 because of America. You don't have a mind for yourself because you like it. If America said 12, your argument tomorrow will be, well, it says 12 years old. You're grown. With these laws, it's nothing but a group of people that make these laws up. It's nothing but a group of men that make the laws up that say this is what it is. It's society. So do you have a mind for yourself, or you just based on what society says?
Society, yeah. You may have a point there, Gigi. Did men make those laws? Yeah. You may have a point. And you, as a man, I can't even respond to that one because I don't care what anyone says. I don't think a woman really a woman or male don't come into start thinking really rational about life until they're about 25. You know, they really come into their own about owning a home, start paying their bills on time, yada yada, such and such. And you know, things like that become more important at the age of 25. At 21, they still want people, they still want their parents and everybody to pay their bills. They still want to live in the house. You know what I'm saying? At 18, most 18-year-olds are still living at home until they're 19, 20 at least nowadays. So I question, who was she living with? Oh, that's a real good question. Who was she living with?
Well, this girl here, wasn't she put off by her father, you guys say?
Yeah, but it doesn't say she was living with the father.
Where's her mom? Is her mother and dad, were they still together? Did they divorce?
I haven't seen anything in reference to the mom at all. Not at all. And that would go back to saying that this child must have been around when he was married to the third wife, and at some point they would have to know each other. So what was really going on?
And if she was raised in the church, that means that the mother and the father are part of this church. So
Well,
the mother probably has a specific role where she lets her husband set all the rules.
Not necessarily BTF, because in the black church, and especially the Pentecostal Apostolic Church, kids may go to the church and the parents might be Baptist or whatever, and they allow the kid to go to that church because they feel confident that the child will be okay. That's quite common that happens. Sometimes
I'm talking about this, but I'm talking about this specific church.
I don't think that the parents went to this specific church. They may have frequented, but I don't. If it was they, I don't think so. I don't think so. I can't imagine how this kid would get that close, because you're not gonna get that close to my child. But as it said already, the father was part of the situation, so he must have known the whole time. Then here's the other thing: what if they really had a relationship going on, and then it was going to come out that he had been messing with the girl, and then they ended up deciding to marry, and he paid the father off to not sue and file charges. Now that sounds more practical to me.
That could happen too.
Now that sounds like it might be. We might have hit it on the head right there. You've been messing with the child. They didn't found out, and the father got a lot of money out of the pastor, and by him getting that money, said, "Well, hey, you go on marry then, man. Yeah, you done tighten me up." They said they called him a pimp, so that's probably what happened.
So now your argument is, now you're changing the whole topic. A woman in her 30s, they're talking about Drea, married had a baby by a 19-year-old basketball player. Where was your show on that? Well, I would have downed Drea for doing that too. What's the difference? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have a bias between gender. If that's
Exactly.
what you're trying to insinuate, that I'm biased when it comes against gender, I'm not. And how do you feel about it? Are you okay with that Drea? She almost 40 years old and having a baby by a 19-year-old child. Are you okay with that?
Are we talking about Drea that was married to R. Kelly?
No, they're talking about this Drea. She was a reality star. And I
She
guess
was on Basketball Wives.
Yeah.
Oh, that Drea. Okay, because the Drea, R. Kelly's wife, was a reality star on the reality show too. So
and they said your information is wrong. They said he was 24, not 19. But I'm just going based on what you said, that she's in her late 30s and he's 19. No, I don't push that. I would not push a 39-year-old to prey on a 19-year-old.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Yet at the same time, her age is not that much of a difference for him. You talk, although I don't agree with it, but I don't think he was 19. I think he was older than 19.
Yeah, I agree with you. He was older, but see how they put it in the comments section, and they put 19 because they wanted me to react. So I was just reacting from that age.
Yeah.
though they came with the wrong information, but they had an agenda to push and to prove. So I just was reacting to the information that individual said. They said 19 and late 30s.
Yeah.
Even though that information is wrong, what they gave, but I just wanted to use that so I can shut them up because they were trying to make a point that I have a gender bias and I don't.
No, you don't. They don't know you. I'll get off GG back. Y'all don't know GG. Yeah. They need to hit that thumbs up, GG. That's what they need to hit.
All right, so let's get to the phone calls. 704, you're live on the air.
Yes, 704. Can you hear me, GG?
I can hear you.
Do I have an echo?
You do have a little bit in the background. I can hear something playing.
Okay. Give me 1 second. GG.
All right, I'm gonna come back to you. Calling from 240. You're live on the air.
Hello.
Yes, I can.
Hi. First of all, I'd like to say that I do not condone what we're talking about the pastor and the 18-year-old. I do not condone that. First of all, I will say that at 18, we are considered adults at 18.
By law, right?
Times are changed, and by law, yes.
And if they would change tomorrow and say you are known to be an adult by 13, would your argument still be, well, Congress said we are adults? Because your argument is based on whatever Congress says, right?
Right. No, and
because you don't have a mind of your own.
13,
it's just going based off what society states for you.
13 is still too young, and I'm gonna say 13 is still too young. But at 18, you can make your own decisions. And I'm on here and I'm reading the comments, and I'm gonna tell you that times are changed.
Who says at 18 you can make your own decision? How many of you 18-year-olds could make your own decision at 18? Or did you need somebody to help you and guide you?
Can I speak real
Go
quick?
ahead.
Because all my life, I'm 53, and all my life, my mother was telling me when I hit teenage years, when you 18, you have to go. When you 18, you have to go. I left home at 16. So when I left home at 16, I was home at left home at 16, and because I was tired of hearing that. And everyone's situation is different. I didn't marry a grown ass 60-something-year-old man, but I did get married at 17, and I did have a young husband at the age of 17, and I had my own place, and I lived on my own when I moved out of my mother's house at 16. So I can say back then, 30-something years, almost 40 years, 30-something years ago, I can say that. But what I'm saying now, this young lady, yes, she is too young to be married to a 60-something-year-old man. That's just like my child being married to my father or something like that. But I was raised by good parents, by the way. I have and still have a great relationship with both parents, by the way. So the problem was I thought I was grown growing up. I thought I was grown all my life. But, you know, for your commentator who's messing your Cash App up, calling people names, the daughter of the God or whoever, she's very rude to your people, and she's messing your Cash App up because she should not be judging people, which I'm not going to do, but I'm going to say that I don't condone this 18-year-old marrying this 65-year-old man. But what I will say is she is 18, and in that church, from what I'm listening to, it sounds like it was cult-like. It sounds like it was cult-like, and it sounds like it was an arranged marriage. And that's what some of these churches have. It's is in a, you know, it depends on what church, because I'm AME, and we don't have arranged marriage, you know. And you know, I am just saying that because I have grandchildren, and because of my opinion, I don't choose to be called a pedophile on here by your moderator who's rude. And yes, I'm saying she's rude because she's coming and she doesn't know the life that I live. This young lady, all we can do is, she's the fourth wife from what I'm listening to today. She's the fourth wife, which sounds like this man has had 4 arranged, could have possibly had 4 arranged marriages, you know. And we're all on here giving our opinions, but we don't choose to be name called or bashed or whatever while we're doing this. You want people to support you and come in, but you got to get your moderators under check, because that daughter of God, she's very rude. And
I'm sorry. I apologize on her behalf. If she called you any names, I apologize. So please take my apology on her behalf.
F me, talking about my mother. She don't know my story. And like I said, I don't condone.
Daughter of the Most High, can you please pull back? Please, can you pull back, Daughter of the Most High? Just so we won't have that much drama. Could you please pull back? Can you please pull back?
You don't have to apologize. Because I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize because I have a story. I have a sister, because I was young once. I was young. But I know that this young lady who probably is in an arranged marriage, a pre-arranged marriage, and she may not have even seen been with this man prior to this. And you know, my son had a girlfriend who he could not continue to be with because her father said she was leaving. He was sending her off to go be married. She didn't know who she was going to be married to. That is sad to me. That is sad to me, because she was not able to be a child. And that's not what we do here in the United States. And that's not what she wanted to do. But because that's her family, how her family is, that's why she had to go. But these people, these little girls, and they're young women now, that 18, they're being married off at that age. But shame on this bishop, because now she's a whole first lady of not just the church. She's the first lady of an entire.
But I just want to say this. The reason why, if they are being married off at 18, the only reason why is because it's legal. If America tomorrow, if men in Congress decide to roll it back at 13, guess what? They will be marrying them off at age 13. It's whatever society allows. If they will go as young as possible, if society allows it. It's a group of men that make these decisions. And people don't have a mind of their own. So it's like, well, whatever it passed, and yes, we'll just go with it. But you do have a lot of people in the conversation that's saying, even though Congress passed down 18 is legal, they still do not agree with it. And because they have a mind of their own, they're just not going to go based on what Congress push on them. They have a mind of their own, and they say, hey, we're not going for it, no matter what they push.
But Gigi, she is 18. She is 18. So what I'm saying is...
Yes, she's been on this earth for 18 years. That's right.
Yes, it's a legal age when some people...
Yeah, but we're not arguing about the illegal age. We're arguing about the morality of him, 1, being a bishop, 2, being the age that he is, and 3, grooming a child.
Morally good. It's not morally good, Tony. It's not.
So that's the situation. And this is coming from a community leader. You see what I'm saying? A community leader. And the important part of this coming from a community leader is that did this community leader groom this child? And I'm gonna tell you right now, as a man, he must have groomed that child, because there's no way she just walked into the church and decided she was gonna marry him. No, this relationship has been going on for years. She's been a part of that church for years.
18-year-olds are lusting and just fantasizing to be with men over 60?
I don't think so.
No, hell no.
Okay.
Hell no, not at all. Not at all. Not
All
at all.
Well,
That's not something.
Let me put you on hold, okay?
Not what
Calling from 704. You're live on the air.
Yes, man. How you doing, GT?
Good. How are you? Talk to me.
I'm good. So, hey, I want to ask Tony a question.
Okay.
Now, Tony, let me ask you a question. Did you attend college?
What does that have to do with anything?
You attended? No, this what, because the last caller, she's telling you something, and I want you to see something. So you attended college, correct?
Speak your mind, sir.
At 18, 19 years old, correct?
Speak your mind, sir.
18, 19 years old. I'm sorry.
Speak your mind. Make your point.
19 years old, 20 years old, 22 in college. Here's what the last caller is saying. She is saying in certain cultures, there are pre-marine marriages. But the problem is, at this point, you are 65, correct?
Speak your mind, sir.
I'm sorry.
Speak your mind. Don't make me part of it. Speak your mind.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You're 65 years old, right?
Speak your mind.
Will you allow your 18-year-old daughter at this point in time to coordinate or be with a 65-year-old? If she's 18 and he's 65, would you okay to that?
No, I would not.
You know.
Not only would I not, there's going to be some physical confrontation, point blank.
Oh, I understand it. Yeah, I understand it. I'm with you. I have a daughter. I have daughters as well. I have 6 daughters. I guess there's going to be some confrontations. But your last caller, the reason why I asked you, when you went to college and you was 18, 19, 20 years old, you saw a 16 or a 17-year-old girl. Now she's younger than you, but you think she's mature enough to be with you.
I didn't have a situation like that, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah, you can't speak to that.
No,
okay, that's fine. But that's fine. But you do understand, females mature older than males.
No, hold on. I see where you're going. I see where you're going, and I'm gonna deal with that. Gigi, I'm about to blow this up. First of all, let me tell you something. I'm speaking from a man point. You know, it is distasteful and disrespectful to have young 15, 16, 17-year-old girls dressed half naked leaving your house every day, because they look like they're grown women. They look like, and just because something look like something doesn't give it a pass for a man to address it. No, that's not an excuse. Not at all. And see, even though a woman has the right to dress any way she chooses to, I do not believe children that are under the roof of a parent has the right to dress like that, because the world ain't the same as it used to be anymore. You know, you got a man that end up talking to somebody that look grown, dress half naked. They 14 years old, and all of a sudden he getting into the conversation with him, and then all of a sudden, how old are you? I'm 14. What? Governing this situation has to be taken care of at home. But people nowadays, they so ghettoized, they don't want you to tell. Don't tell my child how to dress. I dress my child. Well, dress your child like a child her age, instead of a grown woman walking out on the streets by herself, and you don't even know what she's doing all day long. She got her shorts up in a crack, shorts up in a butt, dress. It's crazy. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. You, as an adult, is setting your own child up for a possibility of an essay simply because your child might be managed and grown-minded, and they're too young to understand what's going on. Thus, you end up with a jackass like this pastor married to an 18-year-old child. Now, I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm going to drop it like it's hot. And if somebody don't like it, I don't care. Put some clothes on your child. Make sure that your child look the appropriate age that they are before they go out in these malls and walking down the street, because dogs drive by and dogs look to attack them and dogs want them. That's what a dog is.
Yeah.
That's what a dog is. So don't approach me with no questions in a dog-like manner. I'm a grown man. Don't ever do that.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. So I think at this point, what we're looking at is that right there. There's a problem at home.
Yeah, but you know, with this girl, she was not dressing like that. We don't know her to be dressing hoochie-fied.
No, she wasn't. She was groomed. This girl was groomed. This girl is. I don't look at it any other way that this is a child that was a victim of SA. She was groomed by this man. And when he found a way to get himself out of situation, he agreed with the father with some money to marry this child so he can stay out of jail. That's what I believe. And that's what I believe this is all about. And I ain't taking that back.
60 seconds.
I'm not going to take that back. That's what I believe happened.
All right. Calling from 214. You're live on the air. 214.
Hi, Gigi.
Yes.
Hi, Gigi. It's me.
Hey,
it's
Lady
me.
A.
I didn't see you. I didn't see the StreamYard link. I just went ahead and put in your chat. The federal government, so at the federal level, has increased the tobacco age from 18 to 21. And this was done under Trump. There were so many families complaining because their children were vaping, not just tobacco, but that vaping. Trump went ahead and increased it with the state.
10 seconds.
21. So you can't remember. And I'm sure maybe Tony remembers this. Way back when the government was issuing money to build these highways, they clearly stated you have to increase your alcohol age from 18 or 19 until age 21. I believe Louisiana was the last state to hold out.
Yeah.
And the government basically put as on hold, we're not giving you money for this federal highway until you increase your drinking age. Why is that, Gigi? And Tony, maybe you're going to remember. I think this was in the 60s. I'm not sure of the time or the date.
It was 1972.
Also, Gigi, thank you. Okay, so I was far off, but not too far off. Also, Gigi, I'm sure Tony knows as well. You cannot even advertise alcohol and definitely not tobacco near schools.
And you still can't.
I bring this up, and you still cannot.
Still cannot.
Have vices in this country. Tobacco, alcohol, and firearm to a lesser extent. But the government understands we have actuarial science, Tony. Actuarial science has been around for hundreds of years. We know for a fact, because we have the data, that this youth, these teenagers are not grown. Your brain is not fully developed at all. We even have laws where it comes from children under age 7 and below, children of tender years. That's what it's actually called. You have children from age 7 to age 14. If you abuse a child under 14, there's even stricter punishment if you do a child over the age of 14, like a 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot sit here and allow these people to rationalize and make all these excuses. Well, 18 is an adult. 18 is an adult. Tony, I'm sure you remember one of the last amendments actually had to do with the age when it comes to, I think it was with alcohol and military service. The government there was a push to increase the age of consent, the age of adulthood. But the military, the United States, wanted to keep it at 18, so because you could serve. So the reason we have 18 really has to do with the United States wanting, and there's a reason for that. It's a lot easier to convince.
Mm-hmm.
And an 18-year-old can be groomed. An 18-year-old can be big. You're in a position where you do what you're told to do, because all of these people are adults. When all of us were 18, there were adults. We did not see other people our age as adults. We didn't even see ourselves as adults.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody who's in their late 20s, their 30s, their 40s, or 63, my God, is approaching you, you are not attracted to them. You're seeing them as an adult. High school goes all the way to the age of 19. Many of you either went to school with people who were 19 years old in high school, or you yourself were 19. You graduated high school at the age of 19.
Yep, that's correct.
I was 17, and I would never make that mistake, Gigi, to put my child into college at age 17. I was so immature. I cannot even explain it to you. And that immaturity, because you don't know your boundaries, you're not fully developed, and you can just be pushed and harassed. We don't even have enough protection for these teenagers. The most protection really is when you're in high school. When you turn 18, you're in college, you're in university, you're working. Remember, an 18-year-old can't even get an apartment. If you moved up with an 18, you're either just living with someone. You are not on a lease by yourself. You have to have a co-signer. You have to have a guarantor. They don't even issue loans to 18-year-olds like that.
Absolutely, you're correct. And in fact, you can't even get car insurance unless you're 21.
Thank you. There we go. I was about to bring that up. Thank you, Tony. You can barely even get car insurance. You also, Tony, and everyone in the chat, many of us, when we went to college, we have to fill out our FAFSA, Federal Application for Federal Student Aid, the FAFSA.
That's
FAFSA,
correct.
you cannot fill that out on your own until you're 23. You have to sign with your parents to even get money for college.
I just went through it. You're right.
18 is an adult. 18 is an adult. No fool. 18, 19, 20, 21. These are people who all would have gone to high school together. These are people who are all of the same age, 18 or 21. You're here at the age of 25. What are you doing with somebody this young as a teenager? I'm just not where are you pursuing? And that's already troubling to me. But when we're looking at someone in their 30s, you have a 19-year-old, someone in their 40s, a 19-year-old, 50s, we're here talking 60. And there are actual people who are calling into your chat, Gigi, who are rationalizing this. That's what's so scary. And that's what everybody needs to understand. When you hear people talk like this, there is something wrong with them. Let's not, when you're debating, you're considering. When we're even having a debate, you're in actuality, you're having a discussion and maybe realizing there is no debate, there is no discussion. We just need to be hard stance on this. This is more than just ethics, it's morality. Do you really need the United States Code? Do we need law to tell us not to do drugs? Do we need to have law to tell us not to drink and drive? Do we need law to tell us what's right or wrong? We have laws mainly because of contract and that we can sue people in court. And yes, government is supposed to give us a clear line of how we behave and engage. But we don't need the United States government to tell us what's right and what's wrong, especially when it comes to something like this. Protect your children, protect these teenagers. And it's not just these men. When you keep having these women who keep rationalizing this behavior, these women who don't say anything, they are just as bad. Gigi, you have a great panel today.
Tell it, Lady A. Lady A,
you
you preaching today, girl. Keep going. They loving you, Lady A. You are.
Now I'm going to get back into your chat. And you have a great, you have the best moderators, all of you. And also, hello, baby girl. No, you're not here in the chat right now, baby girl, but hello to wherever you are. Hello, moderators. Thank you for what you're doing. Like, come on, Gigi, you have a great channel. You're at 485. You really know how to do this. And I thank you for just having this particular live right now. I know because we've been talking about Cassie. It amazes me your strength, Gigi, to continue these conversations, because this is so hard, and so many of us have so many stories. And I just want to say last, Gigi, in the state of Texas, they have now raised the age of statute of limitation. Before it was, if you were abused under the age of 18, you had 25 years. Now they've increased it to 30. So if you were abused under the age of 18, once you turn 18, you now have 30 years to file suit and take action, which means if anything happens to you in Texas, you have until the age of 48 to take action. And it's not just the people who abused you, it's everybody else who is complicit. Gigi, what happened to the Catholic Church, that affected me directly. I know people, that was my diocese. The person who finally got charged, the nun who taught me in the 8th grade, she knew him. And you know what she told me? I had no idea what was going on.
Yes, she did.
This is Gigi, and look at how bad the Catholic Church. This is worldwide international. Every parish, every diocese was affected. The payout was huge. There's a movie called Spotlight. You should watch that, Gigi. If any of you have not seen it, watch that movie Spotlight. That was the focus of the Catholic Church in Boston. It's so sad, Gigi. And now look at what we're looking at right now in another Christian church. Come on now, let's stop this. There's story after story after story. You have people in these prominent positions. You're a teenager. And imagine, Gigi, if she said something, they would have taken action against her, this little girl. So many people were abused in church. No one said anything. And even if you said something, they wouldn't do anything for you. All these people know what's going on. They sit back and do nothing. They just watch like theater. Tony, you know this quote, Edmund Burke, the perpetuation of evil is when good people do nothing. Tony,
do nothing.
This is what we're doing right now. Okay, Gigi, I'm going to get back into your live chat. Tony, thank you. Gigi, you're the best.
Thank you, Lady A. You put it down, girl. You put it down.
Yes, she did. And it goes back to the fabric of what she was saying. It's tied into everything that we were saying, Gigi, and where you really brought it at. This all really ties down to the fact of this one question. What are we really going to do about our youth that we have control over in our homes? At the end of the day, there wouldn't be an option for somebody to marry somebody's young kid at this age if they were taught in the home and worked with the parent or parents as to don't do this. Take time to get your schooling, understand what life is, learn from my mistakes. And a lot of times we want to be best friends. We cannot be best friends. You cannot. Mothers, most of you are single and you have daughters. You have daughters that dress like they're grown. Come on. I'm telling you as a man what it looks like. I'm telling you as a man, it looks like these babies are out here on the streets working because they look like they gonna do is twerk. That's what it looks like. It may not be what it is, but that's what it looks like. And if you present that, and if you allow that to keep going on, things like this with this child is going to keep continuing and continuing and continuing and continuing, because a dog is a dog. He's going to get a bone. He's going to play with that bone. He's going to hide that bone. He's going to find another bone and play with that bone, eat on that bone, and bury that bone. He's going to keep burying them bones so he can go and pick one up and pick one up and pick one up and pick one up and pick one up. Hump it, dump it, hump it and dump it, hump it and dump it. We may not want to hear this, but this is the truth. This is the truth. Where's your child at the right now? Is she at the mall dressed halfway naked and you know it? Do you know what dogs are out there? Do you know what pimps are out there looking?
All they gotta do is go to their daughter's IG.
That's all. That's all.
They advertising every day.
Every day. Every day. Come on, y'all. We got to get better than this. We got to get better than this. And the first thing I say was, you grown man, you ain't got no business looking. You don't know what age the person is. You don't know. If you're driving down the street, Gigi, can I role play with you for a second?
Okay.
You 14, okay?
Okay.
You got a nice body on you and you're dressed with your shorts all the way up to your butt crack. Okay? I'm going to play the role for y'all. I'm going to let you know how it go down. Hey, girl.
Hi.
How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You looking all right there now. What's up there? Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, so where you from?
I'm from Southside.
Southside. You all way over here on the north side.
Yeah,
What you?
I had to get my hair did. I like getting my hair did.
You
but
like
I
getting it?
my nails did. My nails, like I don't got my nails did or whatever, but I need them. You think you can help me?
Yeah, I can help you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take you. What's up? Yeah.
You are so nice. What's your name?
Hey, my name is G Pop.
Okay. And you go, okay. My nails be expensive though. I like my nails be like $150. You got that?
Babe, fine as you is, I'm gonna go pay this. I'm gonna go pay for these nails get done right now. Let's go.
Say less.
Say let's go. Yeah. So you ate anything? You ate anything today?
No, not really.
Well, let's go and get something to eat. Okay. What you want to eat?
What do I want to eat? Can we go to Chili's?
Yeah, let's go to Chili's. Ain't no problem.
Okay.
We hanging. We at Chili's.
Thank you. So nice.
So what you gonna do after we go to Chili's? What's going down? What's happening?
You say you was gonna take me to get my nails did.
Oh yeah, well we're gonna get the nails. Sasha, sit down. Come on, quit being a big baby. It's my German Shepherd. Yeah, we gonna get them nails done. We gonna get them done, and after we get them done, now can we hang out, do some things together? Can we?
I got school tomorrow, so I gotta
Say
like my exam.
Hold on. Well, you got what?
School.
School? How old is you?
Huh? How old am I? Guess. Can you guess?
Hell no, I can't guess. That's why I asked you, how old is you?
Why you get mad at me?
Because you didn't let me go and do all this here stuff, and you talking about you got to go to school tomorrow. You got to go to school tomorrow.
I'm going to school.
Well, where your mom at?
Okay, you kind of creep me out. I'm going to talk to you later, all right? Bye.
You see what I'm saying? Right there. And this, even though we role playing, this is happening for real. This is going down as for me, for real. People in the mall with your daughters like this for real. Women with your grown looking men for real. Young men for real. This ain't fake. This is for real. It's for real.
Hey, how you doing, girl? I didn't even see you down there.
Hey, Gigi, I'm on mute. Give me a second.
Okay. All right. So we do have some more callers, Tony. Miss Zoe, how you doing?
Hi, Gigi.
Hey.
Well, I'm graduating tomorrow, so I'm on my way to rehearse for my graduation. So I'm graduating out of college. Thank you. I do want to say this real quick because I'm so sick of grown folks, especially Black folks. Everything is blaming the single mothers and blaming little girls, and I need it to stop. You got creepy men running around here looking for little girls, and you got young boys who got a girlfriend or supposed to have a girlfriend the same age as them, but these 30-something-year-old men are looking to take these little boys out. Okay, they get deleted, and people say, "Oh, this is gang related." It's not gang related. It's just he was in competition with a youngster, and he didn't like that. He wanted that little girl just the same, and all the stuff. So that's one issue that we need to talk about. Our boys are not surviving having a girlfriend because you got these creepos and these posters going around here looking at these little girls. Now,
Okay, so
I disagree. I used to believe
your phone going in and out.
My phone going in. Okay, can you hear me better now?
Better.
Can you hear me better now? Okay.
Yes.
I'm saying here, we need to start holding these men accountable. Stop looking at these little girls. Stop looking for little girls because you're sexually driven and you're thinking, oh, they're virgin. Stop looking for these little girls because you're sexually driven. I don't care how she dressed. Keep your eyes to yourself and your hands off these little kids. Stop blaming these single moms. They go through it enough. They don't have the help that they need. And I understand that now. Okay. They don't. And a lot of fathers are not really fathers. Okay. They still want to become the bachelor. So they don't have time to be tied down to kids. They don't have a lot of them don't have the patience with kids. I'm glad that the few that do, but you can't put this on these little girls. I think you need to own this pastor. He got to go to jail and stop talking about what these little girls need to do. No, what your grown men who can read and write, what you need to do is keep your hands to yourself, because I'm telling I gave little kids to learn to defend themselves. If that means get a bear spray and spray them eyes, I don't care. 12-year-old little girls, excuse me, sir, are you looking at me? Oh, you pretty. I'm spraying your eyes out. I'm defending myself. I don't like you. And little girls don't like creepy old men. It's the what's it called? It's called the where they go and grooming. It's the grooming that gets me. And then they want to sit here and cry victim when they get caught. And then you got a bunch of sisters, grown old women, talking about on this freedom. She enticed them. A little girl can't entice no man. He was already in this saying, y'all gonna have to stop.
No, it's getting bad. You talking good points, but it's getting real bad, Zone. I'm gonna put you down because it just keeps getting bad. Okay, Rashida, what is talk to me, Rashida.
All right, yeah. I agree with the whole part. It's too many creeps going around here. But we all gotta take our blame collectively. I think we all are to blame, because you have the good parents, right, that instill whatever they want to instill in their kid to do right, to not do this, to not do that. You have some kids who listen. You have some kids who want to follow what they see on social media or their friends. Then you have the creeps. And then you have the mothers who groom their daughters to go after older men with money. Because I literally ended a friendship 5 years ago for that very thing. I couldn't believe it, but it's a lot of women that are not being held accountable for grooming their daughter to date these guys that got a lot of money, and they tell them the older the better. And I think as a collective, us, the whole community needs to stand up and be held accountable, because we have a mixed pot of all of these things.
Yeah, sis, I hear what you're saying. Yet I want to say, ladies, this is not a thing about just women. This is also a thing about men, because it goes both ways. It's not one way.
Right.
I made the explanation of young ladies, but it's also the same as males with males. And I did give an example of a young man with the older woman because they do the same thing too. But here's the thing: in nature, we are, as humans, are sexual beings. And because people are sexual beings, you cannot call a person a creep if they're looking. Now, that looking may be unaware of a person's age, but then again, there's some that are creeps because they are aware of a person's age and they're looking anyway, and they're still doing it. You know, so that doesn't give an excuse. However, my point is, if we adjust the way they look a little bit, it possibly could help diminish some of this. If you know you got a well-developed young man and a well-developed young lady, and they're under the age of 16, we got to be a little bit more precautious about how they dress, because we know that they're dogs in the community versus the female dogs, male dogs. They are here. And this is a real fact. We can't just say that because the last caller sounded like an advocate. Okay, you're an advocate. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but the fact is, I control the way my daughter dress. Yes, sure do. Sure did. Yes. Because I know what's out there. I'm a man. And I'm going to tell you something that's coming real from a man. You cannot always understand the age of what a woman looks like. She may look like she's 35 and be 14. You know how often that happens now? If you're going to take somebody out, you better ID them. That's how bad it is. You got 16-year-olds that be in the nightclubs. You in a nightclub, you thinking that everybody in the nightclub is of age because they got to be 21 to drink anyway. They got to be 18 at the minimum to get in the door. No, all of a sudden you find out you done hooked up with a 16-year-old, and the 16-year-old was at the club. You still going to jail, Nick. You going to jail because you should check that ID. That's the kind of situations we live in right now. I know it's insulting for anyone to tell a parent that, because the parents got a right to let your children dress the way they want to dress. Okay, I go along with that. But on the other side, they're not of age to consent. Consent. Just because they can do something at 16 and you got a 35-year-old man having a relationship with them, that don't make it right. He is too advanced in age years to have a relationship with that young person. This pastor is advanced in knowledge too far to have a girl such a young age. So I cannot agree with that. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. The dad are wrong. He wrong. He wrong. I don't care if she is 18. Her mental intellect is not where his is, and it doesn't need to be with him. It needs to be where it can grow and learn and become mature with somebody her own age, maybe a couple of years, maybe 4 years older, but at least not that many years. 65 to 18.
All right, let's get Olivia in. How you doing, Olivia? And we can get Ari in.
All right, peace. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to try to make it brief, and I'm going to be real respectful. Peace to you both. And speak, brother, speak. You were hitting on those points. A couple of callers ago, she was talking about her situation with her being 18, and someone was thinking that she was condoning it. I do agree with her where there's all kinds of circumstances. But it was off topic a little bit because we were talking about this particular man in the church. And what I can add to the conversation is, it appears the majority of us are of African background here, But those who aren't, we all are familiar with the old days and the what goes on in this house stays in this house type of concept and mindset. And I think that a lot of these predators get into these religious backgrounds and in churches so that they can hide and be protected. You know, in the church, a lot of people feel like if they don't, they don't do a lot of things that they think, they're trying to be safe from hell. So these people hide behind these religions and different things like that without even really understanding the history of it. I don't even want to get into all of that. But one of the concerns, listening to the callers and reading in the chat where people use this, I'll put in quotations, consider, that word consider. 18 is considered to be grown. Now, when you say the word considered in front of that word 18, you're saying not only is it you're on the cusp of it being okay, it doesn't matter what's considered. What happens now is we as a people forget what the law says. We are the law. We are the people who put these people in those places. We sit in these congregations for these preachers. We pay money for these celebrities and icons to be in the positions that they are. So it's up to us to hold these people accountable. I don't care what a law says or a country says. You got to realize that this country was built on the backs of white men, the backs of us. But these rules and these laws were not intended to protect women, let alone Black women. And like you said, yes, the men have to be held accountable for these things as well, but everybody plays a part. And until we start holding these people accountable, casting them out, just like what you all are doing right now, that's where the change starts. It doesn't matter what a law is written. We are the ones who uphold these laws. So when we start putting these people out on the forefront and start holding them accountable, then that's when things change. It's up to us. You know, everybody needs something to follow, especially in these churches and these religions. Black folks are always looking for something to follow, looking for some salvation outside of themselves to save themselves. That way we condone and we sweep all these things under the rugs so that we hope to get to a better afterlife when we're making the misery in the one that we're living now. These kids are kids. And just like Tony says, he's not going to let his daughter walk out the house like that. But think about it. At 18, who's buying their clothes? You're buying their clothes. You have a say-so on what they're wearing. You also have a say-so to set the foundation in your household. You have the say-so to set the foundation that your children are not just looking for IG and social media to raise them. What are you doing in the household? Spending time with them to make their value worth something versus them trying to measure up to values on social media. What values are we setting in the home? Even if there's not two parents in the home, where is there positive role models of men and positive role models of females for these children so that they can have something to follow in good examples and footsteps and things like that? So I just think that we all, just like she said, and that lady A, she was nailing it. We are all responsible, even those that are sick. We also got to get to the bottom of, I don't condone any of it, but where they sick minds at, where the help for those sick people? They didn't just become sick. They're also attached to a long lineage of sickness. They need to get that stuff resolved. But at the same time, we are supposed to be protecting these children. So we put these people on the forefront. You do what you're doing. You've got, hundreds of people that are watching, listening, and just don't stop. It starts there. And those people who keep using the word considered grown, wait until they have a child that gets cast out into the world. And some 65-year-old man want to put his wormy dingling on her. That they'll think twice about that. These things, I was molested as a little girl. And then I became the groomer, but not of younger children. I'm almost 50 now. I was a 12-year-old girl grooming a 28-year-old man who said no, 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 until I made it impossible for him to say no. So can you imagine how the shoe turns when you're groomed in that way? It does. It can take effect in full circle in many ways. I don't consider myself a victim. I consider myself a life lesson learner. And I know that when you follow people, I'm not saying you can be a great Christian. You can be whatever you want in this world, but the lifer has to be on the pilgrimage of that person's individual life instead of following. If you follow, the only place you're going to end up is that person you follow's home, not the house of your own, which is where the heart is. And that's all I got to say about all of that.
All right. Thank you so much. The time is up on us, so we're gonna do some closing. Rashida first. Your last talking points, and we're gonna close out with Tony.
Um, well, you already know how I feel, Gigi. When it comes down to stuff like this, we can't do anything for the community if we don't like who we see in the mirror. You got to start with you. You got to start with your household, and then trickle down, on and so forth. So I'm just praying that everybody holds everybody accountable and don't just put it on one set group, one race, one gender. It just doesn't work like that. We have a sick, the world is sick as a whole. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about this. I'm just so tired of, I'm sick and tired of seeing stuff like this.
All right. Tony.
I agree with everything that's said, but here's the thing that we all have to keep in mind. And the thing that we have to keep in mind is that this is not about race. This is not about community. This is about safety for our young ones, period. And yes, we have some of our young ones that are absolutely fast, and it could be a college professor, it could be a teacher. They have infatuations, and they have their little crushes. Yes, it's true, but it's up to the adult at the end of the day to say, no, I will not do that. It is up to the adult to say at the end of the day that I am going to cherish this young person's life and be a positive force in their life versus taking up my personal greed and need. We have to protect these young people at the end of the day at whatever it costs, at whatever it takes. And it's important that we do so that their life become prosperous at the end. Point blank.
Now, Ari, I know you've been in and out for a while, so I wanted to get you real quick. Ari, your take on everything? Ari? Okay, 5, 4. Okay, never mind. All right. Well, I thank you, Tony. I thank you, Rashida. Thank you, Lady A, Olivia, everybody that came up to speak, everybody that commented, everybody that called. I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys on another show.
All right. Love you, Gigi.
Love you,
Too,
Gigi.
Rashida. Love you, Tony. I'm out.